Hello, and welcome to Tuck's Take, brought to you by PlaySugarhouse.com. Last week was frustrating, I'm not going to lie. Patriots didn't cover versus the Steelers, my game of the week. And in my opinion, it doesn't bode well for New England's Super Bowl aspirations. In fact, the best two teams in the AFC right now might just be the Chargers and the Colts. Mind you, neither is obviously a favorite to win the AFC because of where they are record-wise, but nobody, and I mean nobody, wants to play either of those teams. With the Patriots' loss, we went 2-3 last week, bringing us to 36-27-2 on the season. Let's get right back on that horse. One of the amazing things about PlaySugarhouse.com is the ability to bet on sports in so many different ways. Sometimes it's hard to make a decision when you're handicapping a football or, let's say, basketball game. The odds makers make a tough line and it's challenging to pick a side. I get it. However, did you know that you can move those lines? I'm talking about a teaser bet. A teaser bet is a series of connected bets that must all win for the bet to pay out. But you get to move the line 6, 6.5, or 7 points in the direction you want. So, let's have some fun with a two-team teaser. Again, very simply, when you tease, you must win both games, but you get to move the line. Cool. In this example, we're going to tease Seattle from plus 2.5 to plus 8.5. And we're going to tease Cleveland from minus 8.5 to minus 2.5. You'll notice in both these cases, we're jumping over the pivotal 7 and 3 point lines. In Seattle's case, this is a team that still has plenty to play for. They've been extremely tough at home, and they have the number 1 running game in the league. That should help them control the clock and keep Patrick Mahomes on the sideline. If Seattle doesn't win, and I think they might, they'll certainly keep the game close. For the Brownies, it's simple. They're just a much, much better team than Cincinnati right now. In addition, Hugh Jackson being on the Bengals coaching staff brings out the best in Cleveland and the worst in Cincinnati. Keep in mind, I'm not really going on a limb here. The Brownies destroyed the Bungles just a few weeks ago in a game where the final score was not indicative of how lopsided it was. The Browns were up 28-0 at one point in that game. Oh, they played that game in Cincinnati. Figuring out what the public perception is and how it differs from reality can often reveal some value. In the New Orleans-Pittsburgh game, the perception is that these teams always score lots and lots of points. Hence, the value is in betting the under. In this game, for some reason, the public perception is that Green Bay is still a good team. And frankly, this is just not the case. Aaron Rodgers is banged up. Green Bay is playing for nothing. I mean, they aren't even playing for the coach that'll be leading them in 2019. While I know I can say the same thing about the coach in New York, I really like what I saw out of Sam Darnold last week versus Houston. His return from injury provided a spark. And isn't it just like the Jets to win a meaningless game and screw up their draft position? Wide receiver Robbie Anderson has been a revelation, and the chemistry between him and Darnold is very real. I expect another big game from Anderson. On defense, the Jets are generating pressure on opposing quarterbacks to the tune of 12 sacks in the past 3 games. Green Bay will be without running back Aaron Jones, and while Devontae Adams has been fantastic this season, the rest of the Packers have disappointed over and over again. In addition, Green Bay hasn't won a game on the road all season. I'll put my money on that streak continuing. Give me the Jets, Jets. 9 points, 14 points, 13, 17, 7, and 14. That's how many points the Saints have allowed opposing teams to get each of the last 6 weeks. Yet, the total in the Saints game this week, 53.5. There's a disconnect here, right? Based on the line and the total, the handicappers are expecting about a 29-24 game. So the Steelers are expected to buck the trend and score a full touchdown more than any other team has versus the Saints in the past 6 weeks. Seems a little bit ambitious to me. I feel like the total is based on the reputation of 2 high-powered offenses. When you think of the Steelers, you think of Big Ben slinging the ball around to Antonio Brown. And of course, when you think of the Saints, we think of Drew Brees and Alvin Kamara. The public still believes in offense. We love offense. I mean, it's fun betting the over. You can win by halftime. It's much less stressful than sweating your under bet in the fourth quarter. But because of that, there tends to be some value in betting the under. By the way, a New Orleans Saints game hasn't hit the over in 5 weeks. Bet the under. Do you believe in Nick Foles? Do you? Do I? Does it matter? His teammates do. and that matters. Foles does a great job getting Alshon Jeffrey involved, and they have enough weapons on offense they should be able to put the ball in the end zone. On the defensive side of the ball, they have been besieged by injuries to their secondary. But a healthy Avonte Maddox was a shot in the arm last week. More importantly, it's much easier to cover receivers when the opposing quarterback doesn't have time to throw the ball. Makes sense, right? Last week, the Eagles' defensive line generated consistent pressure against quarterback Jared Goff. While the Eagles only recorded 1 sack, they hit Goff time and time again, and clearly made him uncomfortable. Which brings us to their Week 16 foe, the Houston Texans. Quarterback Deshaun Watson has played admirably, and wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins might just be the most valuable player that doesn't play quarterback. But where this team struggles mightily is their offensive line. They can't protect Watson. He is being hit and sacked at an alarming rate. The New York Jets sacked Watson 6 times just last week. The Eagles should see similar success, and while Houston does boast a top 10 rushing attack, it hasn't really been all that efficient. All this points to a long day for the Texans' offense. When push comes to shove, the Eagles put up enough points and the Texans can't keep up. Give me Philly. Don't forget, use the deposit code TUCK, that's T-U-C-K, for a 100% match on any dollar amount up to $250. This is only for first-time depositors. That'll do it for this week's edition of Tuck's Take. Until next time, I'm David Tuckman. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy the games, and good luck.